What's going on, everybody? Jake the Bills fan here, and as you can see, things have changed around here. I've got a new camera angle, and I got Josh Allen behind me, informing you of what you should do if you want Bills content weekly. Happy getting out of the bye week, everybody. It has been slow as hell. Yesterday, I consumed probably the least amount of alcohol that I have in my life. And that is because I did not get to celebrate my team winning or even just playing at all. But what I did get to celebrate was the Miami Dolphins losing to the Denver Broncos and their brand new shiny toy being exposed that when he does not have field position gift wrapped to him, he cannot get it done. But we're not even going to talk about the Dolphins today. The only thing that's going to even mention the Dolphins today is when we kick their ass in week 17, because this video is talking about the remainder of our schedule, because it really does look like, everybody, that we are going to just walk our happy little asses into winning the division, because some of our opponents that we have coming up are trash. They are bad. And that is starting with the Los Angeles Chargers. Um, this is actually going to not be an easy game. Some of these games, it will be a cakewalk or should be a simple game plan. The Los Angeles Chargers, I mean, granted, it was the Jets yesterday, really did put it on them. And granted to the Jets, they did try to make a comeback, but it wasn't as glorious as Justin Herbert after getting his mane shaved off, deciding to go out there and absolutely torch the New York Jets. And it kind of scared me for a little bit. But I really do believe that the Buffalo Bills will be able to go into the game against the Chargers out of the bye week. I have a video coming out later this week. It'll actually come out on Thanksgiving, talking and breaking down what is the game plan going into our own stadium against the Chargers, against Anthony Lynn, someone who is kind of familiar with the old Bills, but not the new. So yeah, the Chargers, really, when it comes down to it, they're really pass heavy, and we need to keep it in front of us. Justin Herbert loves to, just like Josh Allen does, go out there and sling the damn rock. I really do believe that if we are going to stop them, that we need to keep it in front of us and make sure, and this is just something that I'm speculating, that Austin Eckler might be coming back this week. We need to make sure that Austin Eckler does not burn us for 1,000,000 yards like we let Henderson for the Rams do, or like we let the running back for the Chiefs, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, absolutely torch us. So, and also another thing is, I'm not sure what's going on with the Matt Milano situation, at least when it comes to that. He might not come back against the Chargers because they changed the wording to where it's not 3 weeks, it's 3 games. So technically, he can't come back against the Chargers. He would have to come back against the 49ers, which brings us into the 49ers the next week. The 49ers, dude, they are absolutely ravaged with injuries. Like, it is absolutely ridiculous to just look at their team and see how far they have fallen from what they were last year when they were competing in the Super Bowl. Legitimately, they have no Nick Bosa. They have no Solomon Thomas. They have no George Kittle. They have no Jimmy Garoppolo. Granted, some fans think that Nick Mullins might be better than Jimmy Garoppolo, and those guys are crazy. And then no Raheem Mostert. As of right now, I have him in fantasy, so I know he's on IR. I think they can activate him this week, but we'll see how it goes from there. Really, the Buffalo Bills need to just go out there, handle business. It's on Monday Night Football, and every single game you go into, you can't just look over it. Granted, case in point, the Dolphins losing to the Broncos. Nobody thought that that was going to happen, and it somehow happened. So going into a game against the 49ers, just because they're beat up doesn't mean they're not dangerous, but I think that that game is slightly like way edges towards getting a win than it would be taking a loss, but there is still a possibility there. But really, the big game that everybody's looking at when we look at our schedule as a whole is the Steelers. The Steelers game is going to be crazy because I can pretty much guarantee you, granted, if there's any fluke, the Steelers will come into Buffalo undefeated, and the team that has the number one seed locked up by then, it is just going to be it's going to be a giant game, really. I mean, this is, out of all of my notes that I have, this has the most on it. We need to all out attack the Steelers. When you watch them, the teams they go against, eventually when they figure out the scheme that the other team is doing, that defense absolutely will just take advantage of that. The Steelers' defense, and especially their defensive line, is scary. And their linebackers and their safeties, they're scary too. Really, the big thing is we need to all out attack. We can't just be a team that goes out there and throws the damn ball all the time. I know Brian Daboll really does like to do that, but they're saying during this bye week they're going to do a deep dive and try to get to the run game started. Hopefully that happens because we need diverse play calls. We can't just be throwing the damn ball every single play. Unless you're throwing a screen pass, we really need to be able to get our running backs and Zach Moss and Devin Singletary going. They are good backs. As far as we know, after Devin Singletary last year, we can't really speak for Zach Moss yet, but Devin Singletary last year, averaging over 5 yards a carry, that's insane. Devin Singletary is a good running back, and I really think that we'll get that running game established again when we get our whole O-line healthy, which is something that is a great possibility coming out of this bye, with having Deion Dawkins, Cody Ford, and then having Mitch Morse at center, Feliciano at right guard, and then having, Williams or Johnson, whatever, as our left guard. I'm used to saying Ty Nsekhe there, but they brought some Darrell Williams in there at right tackle. So yeah, and really we need long methodical drives. Now, if there's one thing that even though they haven't shown it all the time, Big Ben and that Steelers offense, they are very capable of being able to be explosive. Now, there are games where they are just absolutely stagnant, and I think that if that happens, that is where the Bills can really take advantage of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and why this game, even though you can't mark it down as a W or an L because it's so like these are two giants colliding in the AFC, I do believe that the Buffalo Bills can edge out the Pittsburgh Steelers, granted, looking at their schedule. While they have won big games, big division games, they have struggled in games where it looks almost ridiculous that they should be struggling in those games. And the fact that they are just almost losing, especially to Dallas. Like, if you want to look at what Pittsburgh, if we win, what we need Pittsburgh to look like what they did against Dallas. That's what we really need. So then the next games, this is where we start to go into our games where you can't overlook them, even though they're at the end of the season. We got the Broncos. Yes, they just went out and they beat the Dolphins. Now, really, the best way to beat the Dolphins is do not turn the damn ball over in your fucking territory, and you will almost be able to beat their stagnant offense with their play calling that is so conservative, with Chan Gailey not knowing how to call plays for Tua Tagovailoa. There is still a chance, though, that if the Dolphins don't like what they have in Tua, they put in Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick's a whole different game. So for the Broncos, I just said expose the secondary. This is where Brian Daboll can go back to what he likes, and he can just throw the ball 800 times. Throw the damn ball. You're not going to run on this defense. They've got a pretty stout defensive line. You know, that's always been a thing that has been really good with the Broncos. So you're not going to just go in there and be able to run all over them. While they do rank low in run defense, they are good when they want to stop the run, and that was evident yesterday against the Dolphins. The next one, Pats. This is where Brian Dable is going to have to flip the script from the week before, run the damn ball. And I know last time we played the Patriots, he was like, yeah, we'll run the ball. And you know what? We did run the ball and we ran it somewhat effectively, but we need to be able, hopefully, through these next coming weeks, we need to really establish the run game so that when we go into the Patriots, if we have to run, because they've got J.C. Jackson and Stephon Gilmore locking down people, which, don't get me wrong, there's going to be a few burnt toast plays with Stephon Gilmore, like always. Like, as Bills fans, we know that. But we need to be able to run the damn ball, and don't let that game get as close as it did the last time. Bout gave me a damn heart attack. And then hopefully, going into the Dolphins, if we have the division locked up, because the Dolphins don't have a cakewalk of a final schedule at all, hopefully we're just sitting our guys ready for the playoffs. But if it does really, really come down to week 17, we need to pressure Tua. If there was one thing that happened yesterday, Vic Fangio and his defense really went out there and wrote the script on how to stop Tua, put the pressure on him. He take away his first read, put the pressure on him, he's going to fold. And that's the thing. But if by then they're starting Fitzpatrick again, Matt Milano, please, for the love of God, save us, because the best way that they have of beating us with Fitzpatrick is just throwing it to Mike Gesicki 800 fucking times over the middle. So yeah, really, those are the key pinpoints to being able to win these games over the remainder of the season coming out of the bye. I really do think the one game we're going to struggle in is the Steelers. The other ones, I do have us predicting wins. So out of the 6 games that we have left, I think 5-1 is really realistic going out of them, just looking at everything as a whole, past with division opponents and everything, and also looking at just the best case scenario, 6-0, being able to beat all of them, saying that we go into Pittsburgh and play our perfect game. Then being 6-0, we end up really clinching the division. There's no way that the Dolphins be able to go, because if we go 6-0, they're already 6-4. No way that they would be able to catch up with us at that point. But then there's also the fact that we could be in contention trying to go for the 2 seed, or if the Steelers somehow aren't undefeated coming into our game, we still could be in contention to try to be one of those top teams in the AFC. So if you did like this breakdown, make sure to do what Josh says and subscribe to Jake the Bills Fan, because I do have videos that come out on Tuesdays, Thursdays, usually Sundays, but this week it's going to be a little bit different because on Sunday I'm not going to be here, so I'm not going to be able to do an immediate breakdown of the game against the Chargers. And then on Tuesdays, I usually do a full breakdown of the game, talking about what worked, what didn't, and then we have preview videos and all that stuff. There's a bunch of stuff that comes out on the channel, so make sure to subscribe for that. And if you haven't already, I did make a tribute/hype video for the Buffalo Bills over the last 20 years. It is on the channel as well. It is highlighted as the featured content if you are a returning subscriber. Again, so if you did like this video, drop a like down below, comment what you think that our final record will be going into the end of the season, what teams we might drop to, what teams we're going to surprise the national media against. And again, do what Josh tells you. Subscribe to Jake the Bills Fan, and I will see you guys next time. Go Bills.